So, if you remember the story of King Solomon, right? He said he was given a ring to control demons, okay? And what he did was he used these demons to create his empire. And he said at night he couldn't sleep between the hours of like 1 and 3. He would try to rest. That's when the demons would come and try to take the ring from him. And they succeeded. You understand? And what it makes me think of, it makes me think of two things. Okay. My brothers are drug dealers. They used to try to get me involved, but the voice within me wouldn't allow it. I'm just here to play video games and drink and smoke. Why? I was young and I lost my mother and I had no direction. I thought they were my direction. Because, you know, blood and last names and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I realized I would be there for a long time. And it was terrifying that it was between those hours that they would get the most traffic. And I didn't realize that afterwards that the ring, okay, is, listen, they said the same thing that happened in Area 51 or Roswell, New Mexico, same thing that happened in Germany with Adolf Hitler. He had a medium known as Real Society to be able to speak with these extraterrestrials, if you will. And they found out that the Spirit Destiny, Ark of the Covenant, King Solomon's Ring, Spirit Destiny, the whole shebang is real. You understand? So Adolf Hitler went out in his travels to went and try to get everyone to find these artifacts, i.e. Indiana Jones. And he came across King Solomon's ring, and instead of the ring, they found the ingredients to make meth. Okay. And if you know anything about people on the meth, if you look at those documentaries on YouTube, which I have, they talk about having a shadow entity following them. And then if you hear them, they say, when I was under this drug, I was doing things that I never imagined myself doing because it wasn't you. Okay. They won't tell you that. The English language is 2,500 languages. Let me keep going. So, it's a dual parable. You understand? These drug dealers are the demons, i.e. King Solomon, that are helping the current King Solomon build their empire. And if you go back to when I was a child, my mother was a teenager, they had Scarface and all these other drug dealer movies trying to get everybody compelled to be in this kind of mentality so they could turn into the demons of the old. Okay. And another parable behind this is the heart, right? Because you got two different kind of demons here and they work parallel with each other. Okay. And what you have to understand is, if you see the current shape of the heart, right, they have it like, right, Valentine's Day, they do that purposely. And I'm 100% knowledged in this subject enough to know that the same symbol for King Solomon's ring is the same symbol for those who enforce the law. Okay. And the reason why I bring up the badge is because if you take the heart and you flip it and you keep both of them, right, you see the badge. Is that a coincidence? No, because it's placed right over the heart. Okay. And what law enforcement is just like, because the voice was telling me today, I was walking my dog and it was like, they traded their heart for the external heart, which is why the badge is outside. You got the same badge inside. Theirs is outside. Right? And the voice was like, they enforce the law. Do they enforce racism? I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. They don't. But nonetheless, what we have to understand as ignorant creatures is that they don't even know what's going on. It's why, like, listen, they won't talk about it in the news, but there's a lot of police officers who take their own lives from the pressure. There's a disconnection that's occurring that only they can feel. And I could feel the disconnection with me and this job. Same thing. There's a disconnection. I can't really explain it, but it goes to pain. It goes to pain. And I mean that like I could spend 3 videos on how much energy is being taken from me from my position, from being a mail carrier, but no one will ever understand. Nonetheless, I still love it because I'm sacrificing my body, not my mind and not my spirit. Anyways, let me keep going. What you have to understand, right, is all these things are tied together like crazy. Alright, and there's principalities attached to things. Okay. And it's something he wanted me to say. I was taking a walk with my dog. It was just like, it's a beautiful thing. Because it's just like, I'll take a walk. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to. It's not that I don't love it. But it's a lot. I can't even explain it to you. It feels like I have to have a constant recorder around my neck 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because there's a lot of things inside. So I wish I could give you, I can't even remember. That I'm realizing now. We're being forced to forget a lot because of the sins that are being created in the air. It doesn't want us to have to, like, it's trying to save us from abuse by getting us to forget. And I believe that. I believe wholeheartedly. And I realized like there's a dual relationship between the hood and law enforcement. You understand? And so the voice taught me with law, which is L. You gotta break it. It's all acronyms. Lost, all, will. Okay. When the parable with that is, if you have to, as a law enforcement, if you have to arrest your brother and sister, you're forced to choose between your will and the will of the law. Because you're legion now. You're many, you are one. That's why you all have the same badge. You have the radio over your shoulder so you can speak to each other, so you all have one voice. And it's the same thing, vice versa, in the hood. Okay. And I'm saying it's like, man, it goes back to, yeah, sure, they don't know. They don't know what they doing. I can hear it every day in my head. Like, yo, they don't know. They don't know what they doing. You gotta forgive them. I'm just like, oh my God.